Bad boys, what you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Chevy John don't come for you? Tell me what you
I've been a police officer, actually a deputy sheriff, for almost 10 years now, and it went by very fast. Well, you know, when I was younger, every boy, you know, wants to be a police officer or a firefighter. So you know, you had that. But growing up, I necessarily didn't think I'd be in law enforcement when I was like a teenager. You know, I had other career goals. However, you know, started a family, got married, and you know, it turned out to be a really good career decision. And once I started doing it, I really enjoy what I do. Get to make a difference. You know, you don't always have a good day. There's a lot of bad days. You just have to take the good with the bad. You have to have thick skin. But you know, once I went through the process and started, I really love my emergency petition. One time, I worked in the domestic violence unit in the sheriff's office, and went down this hallway. And it was a very thin hallway, so only one of us could go at a time. So we're trained to stack on each other when we enter a room. So this guy was, he had some mental issues, and he was suicidal and homicidal. So we made the decision I was going to be the first one through the door. And, so I made entry through the door as we trained to do, and I saw the gentleman. He was laying on the bed. He immediately grabbed a hunting knife. He was elderly, so it took him a longer, so he was trying to come to me. And I had to make the split decision at the time to either use, you know, lethal force option if he gets too close with that knife, or other force options. So I immediately transitioned to my taser, and I tried to use my de-escalation techniques to acknowledge who I was, because I could tell he was confused who I was, to put the knife down. Thankfully, he eventually realized that we were the sheriff's office, we were legitimately there, and he put the knife down. I didn't have to do any force on him at all, and I was able to de-escalate the situation. But for a second there, I mean, it definitely was a life and death situation, and you know, you never know what you're going to get into, and any second, split second, it can be life and death. We have to have at least 2 days of training a year for our qualifications. And then we also have a third day. We go for more just training rounds and you know, shooting our weapons and everything. It's like more of training tactical situations.
Does it have kickbacks?
A little bit. But mandated as far as the in-service training, we have 2 full 10-hour blocks of in-service training, so that's 20 hours. Plus we have like 3 online module trainings, and they're normally about 2 to 3 hours each.
I'll bring it right back.
Whenever that's up, there's one in there ready to shoot. So you just put your hand in. Alright. Go ahead. Take your right hand here, left hand over top, and just...
We go in these situations where we have to, someone's been deemed mentally ill, and they're a danger to themselves or others, and we have to literally go arrest them, but not bring them to the jail, bring them to the hospital. And these are actually our most dangerous cases because they're volatile, they're already suicidal, homicidal. So we had a situation, for example, it took 4 of us to get this guy into custody, and he was like a former state collegiate championship wrestler.
I would love this. Keep talking, bro.
I wish his father would have told us that before we had to fight the guy, but we had to use a lot of force to get this guy under control. Thankfully, it didn't become a lethal force option. We almost tased him, but because of the circumstance, we ended up not tasing him because his mom was actually in the way and stuff. But we had him under control. We had to get fire marshal to come out with the gurney and get him strapped in, and he just wouldn't quit. It's just some guys, some are mentally ill, and some of the people that are heavily on narcotics, they're the strongest and most deadly people you're going to come in contact with.
I'm bleeding heavily! That's the dramatic radio call from a Philadelphia police officer the moment after he was shot in the line of duty. Commissioner Richard Ross says the suspect ambushed that officer in West Philadelphia just after 11:30 last night, firing 13 times. The 5-year veteran of the force fired back. He did manage to shoot the suspect, who was caught by fellow officers.
Because, you know, nowadays people are targeting law enforcement officers, and if you drive the same way every day, it's very easy to see that. So it's a good idea to maybe change your route every once in a while. You take the highway, maybe take, you know, an alternate route that day. Just so that way you keep yourself and your family safe. For the most part, definitely pray pretty much every day before I go into work, when I'm driving into work. And even sometimes, you know, I know it's cliche, but we get a call. Like, I've been in a situation where I probably had to draw my firearm on someone, I say almost 10 times in my career now. 2 of them, we actually ended up getting an active shooter who had just shot someone at the bus stop, and I was the first on scene, and he was coming out the car with his rifle. He wouldn't drop the rifle. We almost had to use lethal force on him. Thankfully, he finally dropped the rifle and came out. But like before that particular call, you hear that dial tone go out, you know, the emergency signal, and you're the closest officer there, you know it's real, it's life and death. Shots fired, someone down at the bus stop. So right then and there, as I'm, you know, you get tunnel vision, you have to try to fight that tunnel vision. I'll say a quick prayer. Lord, protect me, keep me safe, let me have good judgment here. And it happens kind of simultaneously. I don't even think about it. It's just a really quick thing in my mind while I'm focusing on what I have to do. And I definitely rely on prayer. Yes, sometimes it does. Obviously, with you know, being married with children, my wife has a little bit of that anxiety. Sometimes when I go to work, you know, I work the midnight shift, so I'm out there late at night, and you know, most criminal activity takes place during the times that I'm out there. So, you know, she does get stressed out a little bit and has anxiety, but I always reassure her and say, look, you know, I resort to my training. I don't let my guard down. I know that the best day in law enforcement is everyone goes home safe and no one gets away. And that's what I live by. Everyone goes home safe and no one gets away.
I heard some like down on the floor. Even louder, we got shooters. I turned around, I was staring at watch his door, got security good. Check.